Maris managerial theory of firm. According to Maris, every manager seeks to maximize balanced rate of growth of firm. Maximization of balanced rate of growth of the firm means maximization of the rate of growth of demand for the products of the firm and also the rate of growth of capital supply. Suppose that G stands for balanced growth, GD for growth rate of demand for the product, and GC for rate of growth of capital. And now the goal of the firm, goal of the manager in particular, is to maximize G is equal to GD is equal to GC. So in seeking to maximize these three aspects, the firm will have to face two constraints. One is managerial constraint and the other one that is financial constraint. Managerial constraints means the issues faced by the managerial team and their skills. Financial constraints refers to the ratio of debt, liquidity ratio and also the retention ratio. Retention ratio means the ratio of retained profit to the total profits, and liquidity ratio means liquid assets of the firm to the total assets, and also the debt ratio means the ratio of total assets to the debt, that is simply the debt ratio. So in performing or in pursuing this maximum balanced growth rate, the firm will have to face both these constraints, that is the available managerial team and its skills and also the financial constraints. So every manager will tries to rationalize his goal, that is by jointly maximizing the rate of growth of demand, capital and also maximization of their own utility and the utility of owners and stakeholders. So the utility functions of the managers, that means the utility deriving factors for managers by no doubt means salaries, status, power, job security and various other aspects that an individual may demand. So the managers will definitely try to maximize all these things. But for example, the case of an owner, the entrepreneur himself, for him that will be profit, capital, output, market share, public esteem, etc., in which he is concentrated. So the owner will try to seek maximization of all these aspects such as profits, capital, etc. So Maris argues that the difference between the goal of the managers and the goal of the owners is not so wide as other managerial theories claim, because most of the variables appearing in both these cases, that is the utility function of the manager and also the utility function of the owner, seems to be correlated. For example, the size of the firm, that is it is correlated with the size and also that can be taken as a variable. There are various measures like capital, output, revenue, market share, and these all are being affected by the manager's decision, and manager will have to be very much keen on taking decisions. So Maris limits his model to situations of steady rate of growth over time. That is a fact which we have to deal with. So this is an important question that comes to manager. So the manager seeks to maximize the balance rate of the growth in the firm. So when they jointly maximize the rate of growth of demand for the products and the rate of capital supply, is it possible? Do they try to maximize these both? They do jointly try to increase the growth of demand as well as the growth of capital supply. This will help the utility function of owners also to enhance. It will also enhance the utility of the owners. Because the goal of manager and goal of the owner, even if it is different, it is not as different as we assume to. It is somewhat similar. So it is worth to note, according to Maris, that managers do not maximize the absolute size of the firm, but its rate of growth. So that is, some variables in manager's utility function such as salary, status, power are strongly correlated with the rate of growth of demand for products, and therefore manager's salary will be higher and they will have more power and esteem as well as faster rate of growth if the firm is performing well. So the utility for function of the managers can be written as UM is equal to GD, function of GDS. GD means the rate of growth of demand for output, UM is utility of managers, and S measure of job security of the managers. And when we take the case of that of owners, it is a function of GC, that is growth of supply of capital or capital supply. So both the utilities can be written in the form of equations. So the rate of growth of capital is always subject to a constraint, that is the decision making capacity of the managerial team. I have already said that. According to him, job security of the manager is determined by the weighted average of three financial ratios. We have already discussed the financial ratios that act as the constraint. So we have to take the weighted averages, that is debt asset ratio, liquidity ratio, and profit retention ratio. These three financial ratios reflect the financial policy of the managers, and also Maris is of the opinion that there is a saturation level of job security. We have heard of the 7-year itch and all that. This will work out in this case. So after the saturation level, marginal utility from the extra job security is 0. Below this level, marginal utility from extra job security is infinite. With this constraint of job security, managerial utility function becomes UM is equal to GD S bar. So, like the case of diminishing marginal utility, when you work for some time, that utility from it diminishes. That is clearly mentioned over here. So, that S bar, the bar on the job security variable shows it acts as a constraint. So, the managers maximize their utility, that is growth of demand for output subject to this job security constraint. So the manager works under two constraints, that is managerial constraints set by the decision making capacity of the managerial team, and also he will have to face the financial constraint determined by the three financial ratios, that is ratio of debt, liquidity ratio, and retention ratio. Now how do the firm reaches the equilibrium? In the Maris model, managers tries to maximize their utility, which depends upon the rate of growth of demand for the products, subject to two constraints. Firms grow by diversification, as we know. So the utility function is UM is equal to F of GD. On the other hand, they try to maximize their utility according to Maris, depends not on profits but of the rate of growth of supply, capital supply. U0 is equal to F of GC. UO, utility of owners, and GC is the rate of growth of capital supply. Now, the firm will reach its equilibrium at what position? The position is when it achieves maximum rate of balanced growth rate of demand for firm's product and the growth rate of firm's supply of capital. So, equilibrium is demand and supply condition. Demand for firm's product on the one hand and the supply of capital of the firm on the other hand. So when these two are its maximum, the firm will be at equilibrium. That is GD is equal to GC. When it is at its maximum, the firm will get into the equilibrium position. So rate of growth of demand for product. What is the meaning? The rate of growth of demand for products of a firm depends upon its diversification. So entirely new products can be introduced. Close substitute can be given. Another important factor for the rate of diversification is the successful new products, etc. So again, the equation can be rewritten as GD is equal to FDK. D is equal to rate of diversification and K is the proportion of successful new product. What about the second constraint, that is rate of growth of capital supply? Shareholders, that is owners of the firm, pursue the objective of maximizing rate of growth of capital supply, which is taken as a measure of growth of the size of the firm. So, it depends upon the three financial ratios of debt asset, profit retention ratio, liquidity ratio. So, thus we are going to put a new magnitude to the given ratio, that is QC is equal to alpha pi, that the pi represents the total profits. Secondly, the rate of growth of capital supply depends on average rate of profits, that is denoted by M. So we get another equation in which P minus C minus A minus R and D. So that means research and development, advertisement cost, then the average cost per unit, etc. All these things are factors that affects the entire activity. So the average rate of profit that is earned by the firms, it is denoted by M. So this M is depending on certain factors. One is the price of the product, then the cost per unit, research and development, and the cost on advertisement. Since the price and cost per unit is assumed to be given, that we know, and it is constant, average profit margin is negatively associated with expenditure on advertising and research and also R&D. Therefore, the higher the expenditure on advertisement and research and development activities, the lower will be the average rate of profit. We can also find out the financial security coefficient, which is decided upon by the managers exogenously and is taken to be constant by Maris in the formal model. Three financial ratios: debt asset ratio, profit retention ratio, and liquidity ratio, which is decided by the managers. Maris assumed that the rate of growth of capital supply is proportional to the magnitude of profit. So for that we are using the equation QC is equal to A pi. Pi represents the total profit. Secondly, the rate of growth of capital supply depends upon average rate of profits which is earned by the firm and is denoted by M, which we have already discussed. Price, then cost, and the same time advertising cost and research and development also is a part of the average profit which will be deducted from M, that is the profits earned. Third aspect is the growth of capital supply, which depends upon the rate of diversification. This is because magnitude of profits per period, which determines the capital supply, is also a function of rate of diversification. It is shown using the equation where A is the security coefficient. So from the given function regarding the rate of growth of demand for products and rate of growth of capital supply, the firm is in equilibrium when it is achieving the highest rate of balance growth, that is GD is equal to GC is equal to G maximum. When all these three are at its maximum, the firm will get maximum profit, or it is in equilibrium. There are certain instrument variables or that are policy variables that is manipulated to achieve the objective of the firm, that is financial security, rate of diversification, and the average profit margin. These are the three aspects that is manipulated. So that is an important policy is to choose the value of financial security coefficient. So the choice of financial security coefficient will always depends upon the financial policy of the manager. It is the weighted average of the three financial ratios of debt asset ratio, liquid ratio, and profit retention ratio. So the manager can influence the growth rate by changing these three financial ratios. So it is up to the manager to make the decision. If he goes for larger amount of borrowings and opt for a high debt ratio, growth of the firm can be at risk. Sometimes it can be accelerated. Liquidity policy is at another aspect. It is important for the growth. Low liquidity ratio means available funds are so low and the firm will have to find funds for investment. What about the profit retention ratio? It is an important policy variable used by the manager. Profits are the most important source of supply of capital. Therefore, greater the magnitude of retained profit, the greater supply of capital, which would ensure a higher growth of the firm. But a higher profit retention ratio means lower dividends for the shareholders, which would make them unhappy. If large amount of borrowings and thus opt to a high debt ratio, growth of the firm can be accelerated, but the debt ratio is having so much of risk. So these are the three aspects that may affect the performance of the firm. Maris always tried to explain it using the oligopolistic structure. So it is evident that the average profit margin in Maris model is residual and is negatively correlated with expenditure and advertisement and research and development. So that is what we were speaking in the previous part. Maris has also given importance to product diversity, that is diversified product line to enhance its market stand. So this is all about Maris model. Maris' contribution is the inclusion of all these three financial ratios, and he found a solution in which how to solve or how to maximize the utility of both the managers and owners. The shortcoming of Maris model is his assumption of growth of the firm will continue to grow through diversification, and his certain assumptions of cost and price structure which is not explained by his model.